Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to give you guys the first impressions of the brand new album from Darkthrone titled Old Star. So Darkthrone, pioneers of Norwegian black metal.
One of the OGs.
And I don't listen to these guys very often, but it's such a humbling feeling, like when you listen to this band and it just feels so classic. And you know, we checked out the single from this album called The Hardship of the Scots. Not bad. I feel like it was a bit long, but that's just my personal thoughts.
Yeah, I want to hear with more of the context of the album before I really pass judgment on it. I did like the song, but it's a little slow, it's a little long. When it comes to black metal like this, I tend to gravitate more towards like the orchestral side of black metal as opposed to the traditional type style of black metal, which this is. So my personal flavor is not quite with this, but I'm still eager to give it a chance. I'm still eager to listen to it. Darkthrone is a band that I've listened to sporadically throughout the years, but never really got into them too much. So this is the first time I'm really gonna dive into a Darkthrone album like head first. I'm looking forward to it.
With that being said, we're about to listen to the album for the very first time in its entirety. So stay right there, because we're going to be right back with our first impressions of Old Star. Alright, we just listened to Old Star for the very first time in its entirety, and Vile Self, what are your first impressions?
First impressions are pretty good. This is pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Very brooding sounding, very old school sounding, very raw sounding. That's what I was expecting from this, and that's what I got. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm not a huge Darkthrone fan, so I don't know much of their discography or anything like that, but I do know their sound has changed over the years in a lot of different ways. But this, for me, tends to sound a lot like old school heavy metal mixed with black metal elements, mixed with a bit of thrash elements, maybe a bit of doom metal elements. It's all kind of like a smorgasbord of a bunch of different genres all combined into one, but it's pleasing to my ear. You get a lot of really cool riffs. You get a lot of, the vocals are cool. I like the vocal style. The drum beats are pretty standard and pretty simplistic rhythmically, but it works. I feel like as the package itself, it works. My highest rated song was Alpman, the fourth song. This is only a 6-song LP, which barely makes it as an LP. Runtime's 38 minutes, but hey, Alpman. You know what? Pretty much all the notes for all the songs could be the same. They have very similar structure. They start off with some cool riffing, very, again, I'll use this word again, brooding, just very kind of dark sounding. Then it goes, you know, for a minute or two, maybe 3 minutes. Then it breaks down. They have a little breakdown section where the riffs get a little faster, a little heavier, maybe you have a little drum section, whatever. And then it usually reverts back to the beginning intro part again and outros out like that. With a few minor exceptions, that's basically the structure of every song on this album. I don't know, there's a lot of layers to it, but it's a lot of very simple layers.
Yeah, this is a very simple album. Like I find throughout the whole thing, it's just really straightforward, kind of the same thing. I felt like moments of it dragged for me, and you know, some of these songs are like 7 minutes long, and it's just kind of the same thing over and over. Kind of feels more like a jam, really. Which it's not like I super disliked, but I was losing a little bit of interest at some point, thinking like, okay, is anything else gonna happen?
Yeah.
But there were moments where different things happened and they kind of spiced stuff up, and some of the songs actually do have some moments that make them stand out. As consistent as everything is in this album. My highest rated were the first two, actually. It was a tie. I Muffle Your Inner Choir and The Hardship of the Scots, which is the single that we listened to. And the first track, I Muffle Your Inner Choir, it starts out like, to me, a little bit boring, but then when it kicks in with the double bass, that's when I'm thinking, okay, now we're going. It just feels like a little bit of 2 minutes of startup. Yeah. But you know, your point about it sounding a lot like old school heavy metal, I can totally see, and that was a consistent note of mine throughout the songs, how this is a very just straight up heavy metal-esque album, which is fun. Like it's fun to hear the riffs and just kind of jam out to it. I just feel like my fancy for black metal has a little bit more happening, but I don't think this was bad. I didn't dislike it, I just felt like it was a little bit, you know, strung out. Especially just for 6 songs, like it's really short.
Yeah.
Some of the songs feel so long, and then you notice it's halfway through, and it's like, wow, how much else is there?
But the songs do have some structure to them. Like the songs are
They do.
long, but they have some contour to them.
Yeah.
Which is good. I do admit there's certain sections that are like 2-3 minutes long, which just like tremolo picking of the same riff like over and over again. It's like a little bit too much of that can get boring. It can feel a little repetitive and drag you out a little bit. But I almost feel like that's the point of the music. This is meant to be atmospheric music, I find. Obviously this is subjective what I'm saying. But I find this is to be atmospheric music. This is the kind of music you put on when you just want to be in the zone and just kind of veg, or if you're in the middle of something, if you want to put it on background music, it's probably great for. It's not the kind of music you want to work out to. You know what I mean? Maybe you do, I don't know, but it lacks energy. You know, we both mentioned that it seems like very old school heavy metal influenced, which it is, but it's also, I'll add to that, it's also very low tempo as well. It does pick up here and there, but overall, the overall tempo of the album is pretty slow, which that's what gives it its kind of doomy black metal vibe to it. But you know what? I liked it overall. I thought it was a good listen. Looking forward to listening to it for the whole week. I think the biggest test for this album is going to be the fatigue factor.
I think that's going to be really huge for this album specifically, just because it's not very long, and the songs already are super consistent with what they're giving you. So, you know, will this album be able to handle a week of non-stop listening? I think like that's going to be a really big test for this album.
Yeah, but we're going to do it.
Yep. For this entire week, we're going to be listening to this album constantly, non-stop, over and over and over and over and over and over. And we'll be back next week to give you guys our final review of Old Star by Darkthrone. Remember to leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell us what you thought of this album, what you think of this band. Remember to like if you like the video, subscribe if you are very new to the channel. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Wild Self.
And we'll see you guys later.